Good morning, good morning, good morning. Who did I miss in the pre-party? I saw Mary Fletcher, good morning. Mermaid, Nene, Turtle Madness, Dispatch, Crystal. My goodness, you guys are on fire. You have a lot of discussing to do. Hey, Britt, Melanie, what is up? I feel like I've been off work for a month. We just had a show on Friday. I got a little sketched out on Monday because YouTube didn't like my thumbnail. And I thought, well, to hell with this. My goodness. And then yesterday I woke up. You can still hear it in my throat. It'll come down in a minute. If I mute, it's because I have to cough. Yesterday I woke up sicker than a blood tick on a dog's ass. It was horrible. Ear congestion, nose, my throat, kind of, running a fever here and there. And I'm not going to lie, I canceled everything for the afternoon. You can still hear it. I probably slept from 2 in the afternoon to like 3 in the morning. OJ was about to call the nursing home and have me checked in. Britt said it's definitely going around right now. My baby girl has it. A lot of people are getting this summer flu. Erica, same here. Double ear infections and sinus infections. I felt like death yesterday. Well, see, the last time I mowed the yard was on Friday. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. That was on Friday. So why am I getting sick on Monday? That's crazy. And as long as Erica said I had to get antibiotics yesterday. I don't want it to come to that. Turtle Madness had to go to the ER. Woo! Muscles and Mascara is in the house, armed for bear. Man. Let's take a poll real quick. Nobody likes to get sick. But if you have to get sick, do you prefer getting sick in the cold weather or the hot weather? I will speak for myself. The hot weather actually makes me 10 times more miserable. Absolutely miserable. I can't stand it. Man, because it's already hot. It's sticky. You got the musty titties. Everything is going on. The yard is dry. You have to water. You have all kinds of stuff going on. But, it just almost like compacts it more. No. And you feel better sitting there drinking your soup and everything, watching the Grinch or whatever you're doing Christmas time. Jinbug said, summer cold here sucks bad. I guarantee it does. I had a friend a couple years ago. Hang on a second. Okay, I just had to cough. Or as Don Wells says, that's my stroke kicking in. That's my stroke kicking in. Yessie! I've missed you, girlfriend. Where have you been? It's been forever and a day. I'm so glad you're back. So my stroke kicked in yesterday. Actually, I couldn't have no stroke in medicine because I was sick as a dog. Man, it was horrible. And now I'm having to check OJ's temperature because he sneezed this morning. I said, oh my gosh, now my kitty has got the summer COVID. I cannot handle it if my kitty is sick. But now he's behind me licking his asshole. That's crazy. Let's take a second and tell everyone, so glad we are back. And we are going to talk about Michael Vaughan Day, and for very good reason, is it not always? Let's please Remind your neighbor what today is. It is hump day.
Oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Oh, it is hump day, and we have things to talk about, a lot of things to catch up on. But we know what we put on today. Who has pink on?
On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
No. Not really my sort of thing.
Yeah. OJ has he's got a shade of pink on. I'll say that because he has his patriotic collar on. So he's doing good. Let's take a second and let's welcome a very special guest. Well, hold the front door. KK said today is her birthday. Y'all get your party hats, you get your candles, you get your cake. Light up the chat for Animal Lover KK. Today is her birthday. And look at that, our friend Sonia Allen, she took a couple months break. She is back. We love her to death. Let's have a round of applause for Sonia Allen. We miss our friends when they are not here. Everyone, big round of applause for Sonia Allen. And I do apologize. We are in slow mode. I don't know how that happened. Probably operator error. I can turn it off if you guys need me to. Let's say good morning to our wonderful friend, Kat. Kat, you have been sick as well. Now, I have been blaming you for getting me sick. You can go ahead and take responsibility.
I will. I'm the super spreader. I apologise. I breathed too hard down the phone.
Mhm.
And the germs that I had carried all of those miles and infected all of America, and I apologise.
Now,
And I will also be muting if I have to cough. I'm sorry.
well, I'm going to go ahead and blame it on Mermaid. Because,
Oh,
see, she was sick last week.
well, maybe Mermaid gave it to me.
Yeah. And then your dirty ass passed it to me. So
Well, you're meant to share with your friends. That's kind of what you're meant to do.
that's what we do. So let's start from the beginning about Michael. How did you come into the case of Michael Vaughan?
Wow. I think it was like a few weeks after I heard about Summer's case, because they happened like a month apart pretty much. And I saw there was another child missing in America, because obviously, like here, we just get very limited kind of news on missing children in America. But I knew about Summer, and then about a month later, I heard about Monkey's case, and I was like, this little boy doesn't seem to be getting very much attention. It was really hard to find any kind of real information on his case at all. And at the time, it was being talked about quite a bit on Twitter, but not being talked about anywhere else. So I kind of made it my business to find out what was going on, I guess, because it just seemed like he'd gone unspoken about, because Summer's case obviously was really big at the time. And so, yeah, I think I got in touch with a few people on YouTube. I think you were one of them. And then I had my own YouTube channel at the time. So I got in touch with Brandy and started covering Monkey's case, looking into it and, trying to find out what happened to him. But then on my channel obviously doesn't really exist anymore. So I kind of stopped doing that. But I have never given up on trying to get answers and trying to find out what happened to Monkey, because I just think his family just really deserve to know what happened to him, and they need to know, and they need to have him home, and they need to be able to have some kind of answers for themselves about where he is and what happened to him. And yeah, it breaks my heart. I love Monkey to bits, honestly. I think he's just amazing little boy.
I think about the post that was put into a Facebook group one time. I think I have it right here. I probably should. This was from November 24th of 2021.
Mhm.
I was asked why I keep sharing, etc. And my simple response was, because it could be my son.
Mm.
I wanted to say a lot more, but the truth is he could be my son. He could be your nephew. He could be your neighbor. And that's why I share, because it takes a second.
Mm.
I won't stop helping Brandy find her son. We are his army. Please share and keep his family in your prayers. That message got me
Mhm.
my core. I had flashbacks of my kids walking to the neighbor's house, outside playing football,
Yeah.
on their bicycles, going through the cul-de-sac. When I wasn't paying attention, deciding they were going to go, off the property and do whatever they want to do because, they're big boys, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Now, can we agree that this family has been dragged through the mud because for whatever reason, some people are saying they're negligent because he was allowed to play outside? Can we talk about that?
No, I mean, shouldn't just children just be able to be safe in their own areas where they live, with the people that they know, and people around them that are supposed to keep an eye out for other people's children. And if you see a child that's in distress or disarray or is lost or whatever, you make sure that you do everything to keep them safe. Like, I don't know, it just, in my day, we were allowed to play out on the street, and even a little bit further away. It's just such a shame that people don't feel that their kids should have that right anymore.
Well, it's 100% unsafe. I mean, I grew up in an unsafe time before the internet, Amber Alerts, all those things.
Mm.
And I mean, our parents, well, I'm speaking for my parents, they had a good, general rule of thumb. One was, don't open that effing door for anyone. And then 10 minutes later, they're like, get outside and play. Get out of my car, I'm cooking.
Yeah. Yes, we had to check in occasionally. We could play outside and stuff, and then we come home like every couple of hours and just put our head round the door and say, "Yeah, I'm still here," and then go back out again. But as long as we were back by the time the street lights came on, like, that was time to come in. Then it was dinner time, kind of thing. Like, it I don't know. It just seems like nowadays it's so dangerous to kind of let your kids out of your sight, and that's actually really sad because kids don't get to make those memories and have those, times if they can't be safe to just even play in their own yards.
And I think we need to put it into perspective because the abduction statistics, which, by the way, one is too many.
Mm.
One child abducted is too many.
Yeah.
We should have safe neighborhoods. We should have all those things. Dolores said Michael could be any of our sons. We know, according to statistics in the United States of America, most children are harmed by someone in the family.
Mm.
So this is, extremely rare. What bothers me, besides Michael being abducted, the most is the fact that some people continue to drag Brandy and Tyler.
Right. In the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary as well, which annoys me the most.
Mhm.
Like, they become really bloody minded about it, and it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what evidence is in front of them, it doesn't matter what law enforcement say. They just think what they think, and they don't care what anybody else thinks. And I think that's just horrendous.
Well, they do great investigations from their straight talk phone. Okay.
They debunk it, right?
And debunk. I love that word. Debunk. I'm going to debunk this. I'm like, I couldn't find that word in the dictionary. What do you mean you're going to prove it wrong? Okay. Baby girl, 1755. I wish Brandy and Tyler were treated like Dawn and Candace. Maybe we'd find out what Tyler did to Michael and where he dumped his body. Woo! Portland police are hiring.
Right. And yeah, because that worked out really well for Summer, didn't it?
Mhm.
Anyway, because even if Brandy and Tyler were treated like Don and Candace, I mean, Don and Candace have never said what they did with Summer, so I don't really get her point. And also, I mean, in the very, very beginning, I'm talking like a week after he went missing, when I first heard about the case, I did look at Brandy and Tyler, especially Tyler, because he was the one with her, but I couldn't find any information or any kind of thing that even gave me a sense that he could be involved, because there wasn't enough in the timeline. There wasn't enough time in the timeline. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense how all the other neighbours had seen Monkey in the neighbourhood walking around knocking on door to door, and then not 20 minutes later he was missing. That's what didn't make sense to me. There was no way, with all of the people around, that Tyler could have done anything. So it crosses your mind, obviously, because of the statistics, that usually it is a family member that's involved. But it became clear pretty early on that Tyler and Brandy or any of the family weren't actually involved. And there's some people that thought that and never bothered to give it, like, challenge that thought at all. They've just consistently and constantly said, well, it must have just been Tyler, because Tyler was the last one with him or whatever. They didn't ever challenge it. It makes me really sick.
Well, I mean, we can't say that Tyler was the last one with him, because Michael was going to knock on neighbors' doors.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think we understand from Stacey Wandra, because, well, I tell you what, you talk about craziness when he was on the channel. You think people hate me now?
I was here for it, Brooks.
They
I totally remember.
really hated me then, because he admitted to seeing Michael. He admitted to being at Southwest in Arizona.
Yeah.
But then he started changing his story. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
If you see this right here from the City of Fruitland Police, we would like to thank the public for their help with searching for the lost child, but we need everyone to stay out of the area of Southwest 9th and Southwest 8th Street.
Mm-hmm.
While we deploy a tracking dog, we will notify the public of any updates and assistance needed.
Yep.
He admitted to being there. He said
Exactly.
he stopped right there.
Yep.
Put power steering fluid in his truck.
Yep. And
Yet,
also, that was the point at which, when I first started looking at the case and like finding out information about it and stuff, that's the point where the scent dogs were said to have lost Michael's scent, was at that exact point. So altogether, like, that completely makes sense, that Stacey Wandra was actually telling the truth when he said he was at that point and saw a child there. And then that's where the scent dogs lost Michael's scent as well. So altogether, he just landed himself right flat in the center of it, but you're the issue. Make that make sense.
Well, and I'm going to say this right now. This show is not about me. But can we all in here, there's 192 of us right now. Can we clear this up? Can we please talk to Lisa K. Ruitz and Daisy and let them know that I wasn't going to leave my husband and bring fat bastard down here to live with me?
Oh, hell no. Ugh. Hi, Brandy. Brandy's in town.
Brandy! I'm going to drop the link for Brandy in case she
Okay.
wants to come up. All right, so we're talking about how things are getting stirred back up, and even though it's not important to the investigation, it still puts a burr in my britches. Now, Michelle, after dark, actually, I'm going to go through this first. Hang on.
Okay.
Stopped. Every day we have unfinished business, and I'll tell you that every day is an anniversary of the disappearance from Michael Vaughan.
It's been 365 days, a year of searching with no answers. For the 5-year-old Fruitland boy whose 2021 disappearance garnered nationwide attention and support.
Hi, what are you doing, bud?
Last July, Michael Vaughan was at home with his dad and baby sister while mom was at work. Family says he walked out, searching for neighborhood kids to play with.
He went to a neighbor's house.
Okay, this is important because Brandy is out in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
She is looking at the houses that he went to. Okay, so you see how close he is to home.
Yeah.
I'm going to say right now, I'm a real piece of shit mom because my kids would run almost a mile to go to their friends' houses sometimes. But yet they are being chastised because their children play outside. Let's put in chat, what is better for a child? To play on those game systems and the internet and talk to frickin' pedos, or to get some fresh damn air and sunshine and get out the wiffle ball and play with friends?
I 100% think it's better for kids to be outside and, with their friends or with family, whoever they're with outside. I mean, it's great for exercise, fresh air, all of that kind of stuff. And like I was saying earlier, it's just such a shame that people think that kids shouldn't be allowed to do that because they're not safe to do that. And I think that part of the problem that they have is they can't see how anyone would possibly allow their child to do that. Well, that's how it should be, in my opinion. They should be safe to go outside.
I mean, who feels unsafe in their neighborhood? I mean, who does? I mean, obviously my children, I mean, they're much, much, much older. I have to worry about them. I wouldn't think twice about, my kids outside playing and me coming inside to answer a phone call or go to the bathroom or cook dinner or anything. I mean, I wouldn't think twice about it. Wouldn't even cross my mind. I see no traffic up and down this street. No.
But don't forget as well, these are the people that, have their eyes literally trained on their child 24/7. They never even sleep because they won't take their eyes off their child. These are the type of people that are criticising because apparently they're like some kind of really weird, like drone helicopter type parents that just literally stay by their child's side 24/7, never once take their eyes off them. Those real perfect, annoying parents that like to criticise other parents, that's who we're dealing with.
Well, and the thing is, they're online all day long.
Mm-hmm.
They can tell you everything about every YouTube chat.
100%.
All the drama, who knows who's sending nudes. They all know that. But my kids never go outside. No, it's a totally healthy environment.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Two separate.
He went to another neighbor's house and another neighbor's house.
Last winter, Michael's mom, Brandy, invited our News Nation team to their Idaho home, walking us through her son's last moments there.
He would have come out of the garage. The front door is pretty hard to get out of, and you can hear that opening.
At the time, his dad, Tyler, declined to speak with us. But this week, that changed. The couple sitting together for their first national TV interview.
It doesn't feel like a year. It's been an eternity.
Tyler, a lot of people curious why, if you were the one at home, why you haven't done a lot of talking with the media. What's your response to people?
And we know what he's going to say. He doesn't want to be in the public eye, and he feels guilty because Monkey was home with him. Now, I gave out many flyers at CrimeCon.
Yeah.
I spoke to people at News Nation that even said this was put in for extra views. They didn't know I heard it, but they said it.
What was put in for extra views?
Asking Tyler, let me go through it first. Hang on. Then you'll get it.
Okay.
People who want to know that question.
Because I was the one at home. I feel like because I was the responsible party. I don't like being in the public eye at all, and it's because I, to some extent, blame myself.
For most of the afternoon,
See, this was not necessary. There's no reason to ask him why he's not speaking on camera. There's no reason to ask him.
Nope.
I mean, to some people, it's a fair question, but I kind of think that the way it was presented was basically to hype things up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've said this before. There's not a damn family on earth that owes social media anything if anything happens to their child.
Mm-mm.
None of them owe us anything. We can say we want to hear from this person, we want to hear from that person. Doesn't mean that those people have to come on YouTube or have to go on social media and talk about their experiences if they don't want to, or they can't, or they choose not to. Realistically, that is their right. And it's only because we're inquiring minds and, it is because we have a heart for the child, but there is a part of us that we inherently kind of want to know all the ins and outs and who's and where's and why fors, but they don't have to come on. They don't owe us that. They don't owe us anything. Anything we get is a privilege, really, especially from Brandy and Tyler, because of the amount of spotlight and focus that's been on them wrongly, because like I said, the amount of people, like the more time you spend looking at Brandy and Tyler, the less time you are looking for Monkey. And so realistically, I kind of feel like they're right in that respect.
Mhm.
He didn't have to say anything. He didn't have to come out and talk to us at all.
Could have just spoken about the day Michael disappeared, because we know that the timeline is way, way, way too short for a murder.
Yep. And not only that, the other things that happened in that time as well. For example, Monkey going out and seeing neighbours outside who, go to this house and that house and that house, all within the same really short time frame. Monkey was actually seen alive. So it just does not make sense in any way, shape or form that Tyler was involved in it. So yeah, I'm completely with you on that. There's just no time.
Actually, people don't think about this. You guys want some breaking news? You want some breaking news?
You know about it.
No neighbor saw Tyler outside
Right.
until he came outside to find his son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
Minutes after as well.
Think about that. In this short time frame, Stacy, Sarah, and Brandon are at Southwestern Arizona.
Yeah.
Stacy has admitted to seeing a child playing with a toy. Now, he could have made that up. Who knows? Just to be an asshole. But no.
Don't forget, it was the exact same time that Monkey went missing as well. He said he was at that point of the road at the exact same time.
Exact same time, in the exact same timeline. But in the timeline of Michael's abduction, Tyler is not seen outside.
No.
During that time, he's got movements inside of their home and he's ordering pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have that information in front of me? No. Will it be presented in trial? Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Tyler says Michael played with his monster trucks and Nintendo Switch, and that around dinner time, he ordered a pizza and went down the hall to change the baby's diaper. When he came back out, Michael wasn't there.
Searched the house, searched the backyard, went out in the front yard, jumped in a van, called Brandy.
He says he raced around the neighborhood and was the one who called 911.
Okay. And I don't care what Daisy says, Lisa K. Ruitz, the Twitter people, the ones that just want to keep stirring things up. They have all of Tyler's movements.
Mm-hmm. Yep, digital and otherwise.
They know he was outside screaming, "Monkey!
Mm-hmm.
Monkey, where are you? Monkey, get in the house!"
Portland police, Payette police, and Payette County deputies and citizens searched through the night until support arrived the following morning.
In the last year, more than 3,000 acres and nearby river have been searched. No suspects have been named, but authorities say they have persons of interest. Fruitland police asking for the public's help in identifying this man, seen in newly released photos, walking in a nearby park at the time.
I think this man is this man. I think it's Brandon Shirtliff.
I think the Fruitland PD definitely know who it is. Regardless of what Stacey Wanderer likes to say about that, I think that the Fruitland PD definitely know who that is.
And so when Stacey's like, "Oh, that's just a guy that walks around all the time," they were all on a mission that day. They know kids play outside. They know they go to the water park. They know they have picnics in the yard. They know they play street hockey. They know they play football in the yard. They know all these things.
Yep.
And they also knew that Sarah had one of her shit fits that day. And Brandon was tired of banging her to give her a baby. And they all went out together.
Yep.
And I know people say, "Well, the arms look the same." This is CCTV. This is CCTV. It looks totally different. Okay. It's from, way above, way away. Problem is, no other neighbors have ever seen this person just randomly walking around as what Stacey said. Now, we have to admit, Stacey is one lazy person. See, for one, I can't prove it, but I do not think that taxi ride that day exists. I think he was trolling around. I think that's the reason he went to the water park in Fruitland.
Yep.
He went to another water park. I don't think there was any money exchange that day. I think he was on the patrol.
Same mission as they all were that day.
Uh-huh.
Because they spent a lot of time, well, not Stacey, but Sarah and Adrian and Brandon spent a long time at a shopping mall, cruising around a shopping mall, and Stacey went to the water splash pad, and then this guy that nobody else in the neighbourhood could identify because none of them knew this guy at all, and that was right from the start, right from when the photo came out. Not a single person in the neighbourhood could identify this guy, yet according to Stacey, that's just a guy that wanders around the neighbourhood. Seen at the splash pad that day. All of them had a mission that day, in my opinion, and it was scoping out for a child. That's what I believe. Shopping malls, parking garages, where they get milk from a garage, all of these kind of different places, the splash pad, the neighbourhood. They were all driving around. They were all looking for an opportunity to take a child. That's what I think.
Absolutely.
Time of Michael's disappearance. And to this day, nobody has been cleared, including Tyler and Brandy.
What do you tell people who say, do they know more than they're letting on?
A lot of the speculation online is based in fantasy land.
Law enforcement and God knows our truth, and we'll stand firm and stand strong.
Fruitland police confirming with News Nation the couple has cooperated with the investigation. Today, Michael would be 6, his parents grieving another summer without him, a summer they say should be spent playing and camping as a family.
Right. Time for bed now.
But I still want to look at some stars.
He is pure joy, love, excitement, much excitement, energy, lots of energy. You can't not fall in love with him.
Horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, it really is. And also that, just in case anyone didn't know, that's an older news clip. Like since then, some of the information that they put out has actually changed by law enforcement.
Oh, by law enforcement, an active investigation.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from Michelle Walks, or it might be Michelle After Dark. I don't know what channel she used, but she was going through, and Navalis was on it a lot too, about what the family was going through on Twitter. And I think that's one of the first things that you told me about. And I just thought, what the hell are these people doing? I'm reading all these articles saying abduction, 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 abduction. I saw nothing that said family abduction.
No.
Saw nothing like that. Abduction.
Yep. Yeah, they're the tweezers. So it was hell on there. It really was hell. I mean, it was hell to watch and hell to see. God knows how bad it must have made Brandy and Tyler and their family feel, because it made me feel sick just listening to some of it and looking at some of it. It was awful. Honestly awful.
Oh, I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. I see several people have lost their memberships. I'm going to put the membership link in if you want to join and come back, because you know you love our members' lives. Please join in. A lot of people don't know when it's expired or anything like that, and I get it. So let's go through this.
So it looks like the Twitter weasels have been at it again. What have they said this time, Michelle? I hear you say. Well, I'm glad you asked, because we've got one of the...
Now, you and her have different accents, but you're in the same country. How does that work?
It's so weird, isn't it? Well, you know, pretty similar to the US. Most states across different states have different accents. And I'm from the south of the UK, where we all talk a bit like London. And she's from up north, where they all talk a bit northern like that.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a bit of a generalisation. But, you know, everything in between from here to there. And then Scotland, it gets even more, like the accent gets even more thick. So, yeah, I'm south, she's north.
Okay, it's just like in America. I can tell when someone's from Kansas or Arkansas real damn.
I can tell if someone's from New York or Tennessee or Texas or somewhere. Like the accent's completely different.
Depends on what part of New York, what part of Tennessee, what part of Texas. But I know what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Calling the Fruit Loop police incompetent and appealing for Brian Entin to get involved.
Who the fuck wants Brian involved? He's not an investigator.
Could have been worse. They could have been asking for Jennifer Coffindaffer to get involved.
They need Brian Entin involved. This is the ridiculous stuff we see on the internet. We're going to talk more about it on Friday, considering what hell this channel has been through for the last couple of weeks. By our own people, by the way. Our own people.
Yeah. Not my people. Hashtag.
No. Brandy said between them calling CPS and stalking us at work and home, even following us home from the police station. Yep. Dolores, News Daddy isn't law enforcement.
We've got another one saying that, well, perhaps Tyler, Michael Vaughan's dad, was asleep with the baby for 2 to 2.5 hours. You know, could have been like 4 o'clock and Grandpa went for a haircut and the other kids were doing other things. And, well, he was asleep. And by the time he realised it was 6:30 and he went to look for Michael, and Michael was nowhere to be seen. So he's gone far longer than what Tyler says in the, the accepted timeline. See, because the accepted timeline is that Michael was seen by neighbours between 6.
She put this together so good because in the accepted timeline, accepted means by law enforcement. That means they can verify it.
Yeah.
So, like, they don't accept the timeline between Dawn, Candace, and Grandis because there's no way to verify it.
Right.
Their word. Well, it was like 2 minutes. The accepted timeline. And that was from a news article. This is the accepted timeline because other people saw Michael.
Yep.
For dipshits that say, why don't the neighbors come up and talk? Because they're witnesses.
Yep. And because they don't know us anything either. Surprise, surprise.
They're witnesses. I like how she put this together.
6:30 and 6:45. So I think what's happened now is that they've realised that the timeline is really very tight. So couldn't have been murdered? Not at all. Not in that time frame by a family member. They've now gone with the neglect angle. That Tyler's lying. Tyler's lying about what he was doing and where he was. He wasn't just changing the baby and ordering a pizza, and that he was distracted for 15 to 20 minutes. It might have been longer than that. Well, it might have been longer than that, but we don't know that, do we? And we know that Michael was very much alive and well between 6:30 and 6:45.
Exactly.
So then we get another bright spot comes along and says, well, maybe Tyler wasn't in the house. Maybe he'd gone to the shop. Maybe he'd gone for a smoke. So not asleep in the house for 2 to 2.5 hours. No, not that. Completely different. So this one, he'd gone to the shop and he'd left Michael.
Maybe he turned into Batman and he decided on a whim to leave Buggy by herself, fly Michael to some unknown area, do something horrible to him, and come back within 2 seconds. We're talking about, a very short timeline. Mama Sheep, thank you for the super sticker. Girlfriend, I'm going to get you. Thank you.
Home alone. Except he wasn't quite alone because there was other kids in the house, but that looks like neglect to me. Anyway, we've no evidence for that either. But they've played part of a phone call with Tyler. It's about 2 minutes long. I'm going to play it for you because it's one of those situations, again, where they've snipped 2 minutes out of a far longer conversation and highlighted certain words that mean things to them, because they're great Twitter sleuths, aren't they?
Hang on, can you pause for just a second?
So listen to this.
Oh, you bet.
This is how the whole thing started on Twitter. Was a group of them got together to do I guess it would be the equivalent of a Twitter live, and they invited Brandy. I'm not sure when they invited Tyler, but I know they invited Brandy in. They recorded the whole conversation and then they cut it into little chunks of bits that they thought needed, deeper explanation or whatever. And then they played it out like that's what Brandy went in there and said. That's the only thing she said. So when you listen to any of these recorded conversations, you really have to, I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to everyone. You have to bear in mind that these were 2-3 hour long conversations that they were having, and these were parts of it. So what you hear isn't in context of the whole conversation. So I think she's right to point that out. I do.
I think she is too, because some of these people will edit things out
Right.
for their own narrative.
100%.
We've seen it done a million times before. I mean, let's look at our own news media. You get a 2-second soundbite and the case is solved. You're like, oh, well, shit, I can't believe that. There's
Right.
way more to the story.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this bitch that's talking to them, Sleuthy Goosey, and I don't care what she does. I didn't put 2 and 2 together when I was doing the Kylie Rodney case.
Mhm.
And I was told, I can't remember by who, they were like, that's the woman that was after Brandy Neal and Tyler all the time. And I
Big
was
time.
oh. And she has a permanent block. There's only 2 people that have a permanent block. That's her and Jim Terry. Now, would you want to sit in that canoe?
Hell no.
I mean, would you? Would you want to be on that canoe with those 2? They're the only 2.
Well, you know who Jennifer Coffin Duffer's best friend is on Twitter is Sleuthy Goosey. Figures, right?
Well, dear God, that makes a lot of sense to me if you know
Yep.
the truth.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go through it.
Okay. The
All
audio
right.
is great, so we might have to do it by the.
Tyler
Right.
said, I thought he wasn't in the backyard and I assumed he was inside playing with his brother or something. And then when I went inside, he wasn't with them. I started to panic and search the rest of the house, double check the backyard, and I left the house. So there's the goose saying, so Brandy said it was a straight road. Now, hang on. Why would you not talk about his statement?
Yeah, exactly.
His statement is 10 times more important
Mhm.
than Department of Transportation and how they put the damn roads down. Brandy says yes. Sleuthy Goosey says, so if you run out to the road, you look up and down the road. Even Emma can find that on Google Earth. I mean, and I don't know if Sleuthy Goosey lives in Amsterdam or what, but they're not windy roads. Most of us have straight damn roads.
Yep.
I don't know what she's talking about. These are not the mountains of West Virginia. I don't
Well,
tell
don't forget, she doesn't go out the house much, does she? She's, quite housebound. So there's that. Maybe she doesn't know that most roads are straight in America. She lives there, you know.
Yeah, we're not good at driving, so it better be a straight shot for us to get to come and go to get our beer and vapes. Easy. So if you run out to the road, you look up and down the road, you would have seen him in the road, but you're thinking about 7 is by the time you got outside. Tyler says, when I left to go driving was 7 o'clock. Okay, so let's think about this. By the time you check the backyard,
yeah.
By the way, on this channel, I can speak for myself, I can speak for Kat and all of you. We already know this has been verified. This is a true story. So by the time he checks the house, the backyard, goes outside, and takes off driving, it is 7 o'clock.
Yep. Yep, makes sense.
So apparently, the best way to explain this phone call and this explanation that Tyler gave is that he wasn't in the house, that he was at the shop. Well, how about this? How about Tyler was doing exactly what he said he was doing, that he was changing the baby, ordering pizza online, you know, like you do. And he thought, you know, when you have a kid and they go quiet and you think, they're up to something. Shouted for Michael. First place he went was the backyard because he knows Michael goes out playing in the backyard because he's not allowed in the front yard. So he went out in the backyard, couldn't find him. Went in the house, looked all over, couldn't find him. Went back in the backyard, couldn't find him. Ran all about and then thought, look, he's not here. I'm going to have to get in the car and I'm going to go to the splash pad. Because why? Because that's exactly where Michael's been on previous occasions when he's got out of the house. How is any of this indicating neglect? How is any of this indicating that Tyler was doing anything else other than what Tyler said he was doing? So, you weasels, you Twitter sleuths, don't give up the day job, eh? I've got to play this.
Right. Don't give up your day job. I put her channel in here. You guys go and subscribe. My goodness. I'm glad that she put all that together and had it transcribed and everything, because what a ridiculous conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have chewed my own tongue off. I've been like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the worst thing to ever happen to the internet, as far as I'm concerned, is that group on Twitter, or what's now X, I guess. But at the time it was Twitter, and they're the worst things that ever happened to the internet, hands down.
I agree. Let's
Not
look
a
at it.
victim in the world ever fucking hurt them that bad, but they
Nope.
feel like they have the right to say things like that, to hurt families of people who have missing children who are, I can't, you know, I'm going to lose my shit about it. So yeah, I'll shut up now.
Well, let's take a second to see Michael.
Yes.
See Burpee. We'll go get her some water or something. You seen her fall in the bush?
Yeah.
Was there a cat?
No, he crossed in a berry bush.
She crashed in the berry bush?
Yeah.
Oh.
She's still hurt.
Okay, well, all right, let's go wash your hands. Come on. We'll figure something out with Mr. Birdie, okay?
Oh.
Okay.
He seemed not fine.
Oh, my heart. My heart.
I loved that Monkey was so into animals. Like every video I've seen of him where he's like, there's one with ducks and all the little ducklings coming across the room. Oh, it's just so sweet. It's so cute.
I love him on the ATV, or when he was baking cookies with Brandy, or playing Superman, you know, all that stuff. Of course, he's much older now.
Yeah.
And Aggie said it best. God bless this family.
Amen.
And for those that ask me, you know, you haven't done a show about Michael in a while. What I try to hit it with Brandy here and there, because as you know, they're going through a lot.
Yeah.
Because when the devil comes to your house, it's not an easy thing to talk about on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of the devil, I'm going to go through a recording that I did with Stacy Wandra, you know, my lover.
Yeah.
Let's sing it together. If you want to be my lover, you gotta get with my friends.
That was my half-assed attempt at it, yeah.
I believe Lisa K. Ruitt's put on public in writing that my husband and I are personal friends with him.
Oh.
That I cannot believe that.
Yeah,
You
I just think, to be honest, most of that came from pure, utter jealousy, because she just realised that all the people she's ever said are her friends from high school really don't know her at all. So now she's going to start pointing fingers at other people that have friends, in inverted commas.
Did she even go to high school? Hell, we don't know.
Did she graduate kindergarten? We don't know.
Her high school changes all the time.
Uh-huh.
All right, here we go. And we will be pausing this, as you know.
Really? Where's this place at again?
It's called FCCR. It's a compliance company for truckers.
For truckers? Like over the road, like CDL holders?
Yeah, so it's called Federal Carrier Compliance Registration. They're basically what they do is they get you your DOT numbers, your MCR numbers.
Okay, safe to say, this is when he is sitting there, not doing a dang thing and Googling things, because he doesn't know about these things. So he said he was getting this job at this place. And I'm like, really? Yeah, I could tell by this phone conversation he was still at the homeless shelter.
Yeah.
I'm not picking on anyone that is living at a homeless shelter. I couldn't imagine, and I hope everyone gets back on their feet. However, when you're at a job interview, they don't ring you for lunch. They don't ring a cowbell like Daisy and say, "Ah!"
All your stickers to get you up to date with all your licensing. Yeah, they're just a compliance company that gets you in compliance with the federal and state regulations.
I'm surprised you have a driver's license, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't just go to truck driving school. There's a lot of them that'll, put you in a hotel and, take you to get your written test and then, put you in a truck and put you down the road after you pass it.
No, I know. I can't right now because I'm on federal probation.
Oh, but you would get permission to go somewhere else for employment.
Yeah.
But he can work for the federal government and he can go through DOT numbers in whatever he was saying. He can do that, but he can't drive a truck. He don't want to work. Truth is, he probably can't drive a truck because he can't go across state lines, but he damn sure can't handle any federal documents.
Oh, no.
A loser. Candy Prim, thank you for the super sticker. Me love you long time.
But I have to wait until at least a year on my probation before she'll let me work on the road like that. I've already asked her about that. I want to. But I have to wait until I get in good standing. I mean, I'm in good standing with her, I don't have anything against me. I just have to wait until she clears me.
Well, he didn't get cleared. I can tell you why. because they threw his ass back in jail, which means his parole officer hates him because he tested positive for meth.
Mm-hmm.
He moved across state lines. He didn't report back his address. We already know he got in trouble for having a gun when he shouldn't have because he's a felon.
Yep.
And he's a violent felon. That's the thing about criminals. I can't stand when people come in and say, we need stricter laws. How stricter do you want them to get?
Yep.
They don't apply to them. You know why? Because they are the bottom rung of society.
Mm-hmm.
These people are nothing. These people are deviants. Rules do not apply to them. Nothing does. It is skate by the skin of your pants day every day. And he's going to be out in November unless the DA decides to go ahead and go forward with the charges. Everyone got prayer hands up.
Prayer hands up. But at least in the meantime, he's got his 3 hots and a cot, and he won't be bothering anyone for his Subway sandwiches, I guess.
For real. Oh yeah, and then Daisy's telling people I paid him what $500 a day. What was that?
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Nobody in this house makes $500 a day except for OJ in his own mind.
Yeah.
I thought we were supposed to video chat today. What happened?
I told you that I was doing a live. I had a live that went on for like 2-3 hours.
Well, what about now? You're not doing a live?
No, I'm not doing a live right now. I'm getting ready to vacuum, and then I can be back on.
Oh, okay. Vacuum?
Yep.
Don't slip, bro.
Yeah, Fridays is my house cleaning day.
Oh, I got you.
Because some people have to actually clean their house, Stacey. They don't just live in someone else's house and make a fucking mess and get kicked out. Or they're being screamed at in a dirty pig or whatever.
I do need to explain that, though, because he was always wanting to video chat me, which happened like one time. Friday, this is the truth. Friday is my house cleaning day. I give this house a whore's bath, so my husband thinks I've done something this week.
It's always good to do that.
Yeah, I can't stand messes. I can't stand it. I mean, you know, I'm always steam cleaning the house. You know, I got all the cabinets and everything scrubbed, and I reorganized. Folded the blankets, put them in the blanket holder and stuff. Was Sarah a good housekeeper?
So yeah, I mean, she kept the house clean. I mean, I helped her as best as I could. Yeah. But
what the fuck?
Oh yeah, she did. She kept the house clean. She did. No, she didn't. I mean, the pictures they put online look like a Saturday morning after 4th of July. Shit everywhere. They would just kick stuff out of the way to make a trail to get into the kitchen to get their next snack.
I don't know.
What did you think about Brandon saying you're such a messy pig?
Words don't faze me. I really could care less what he thinks, honestly.
Words don't faze me. Words don't faze me. That's what he kept saying. He's like, oh, he's a piggy. He's a piggy. And she would say, clean up after yourself. Clean up after yourself. And I'm like, what'd you think? But he's like, oh, words don't faze me. I know what does faze you. Handcuffs. I know when you did shit your britches. And that's when investigators came in to talk to you. And you, Stacey Wandra, you signed a plea agreement, conditional, for the body of Michael Vaughan. For the body of Michael Vaughan. But your dumbass didn't know while you were sitting there getting your 3 hots and a cot every day that someone else fooled you. Because it seems to me that Brandon and someone else is smarter than you. Words don't faze me. Words don't faze me.
Honestly, like, he's a backstabber, and I don't care. So,
You know, you were saying that you were offered a plea agreement.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. I just love to hear myself talk, as you know. He's such a backstabber, but words don't faze me. Then why are you even entertaining it?
Yeah, well, why was you the person that Brandon was calling when he got back to Idaho for so many phone calls and so many hours if you really honestly hate him that much and you don't care and blah, blah, blah?
He can't stand him. He couldn't stand listening to Sarah back there on their bed, wailing like a stuck pig, going, Brandon, give it to me again. He couldn't stand all that. Pushed him over the edge. Couldn't stand it. Words don't hurt him. Words don't hurt Stacy. But Brandon's a backstabber.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you little bitch. Seems to me you are really upset. If I'm not upset about being stabbed in the back multiple times over the last month, then why would Stacy be? You know why? Because Stacy is looking at life in prison.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I got all the cabinets and everything scrubbed, and I reorganized, folded the blankets, put them in the blanket holder and stuff. Was Sarah a good housekeeper?
Yeah. I mean, she kept the house clean. I mean, I helped her as best as I could. Yeah. But I don't know.
What did you think about Brandon saying you're such a messy pig?
Words don't faze me. I really could care less what he thinks, honestly. Like, he's a backstabber, and I don't care. So,
You were saying that you were offered a plea agreement. I wonder if he was. Because if he takes a plea agreement, it's going to be problems for other people.
Right.
But I mean, when you think about it, he's the one that had to wash his clothes the night that Michael was abducted.
Exactly. You
kind of weird.
Well, it's
he's such a fucking exactly. You were there. You were with him. You fucking idiot.
You were with him. You were with him. Let's listen to that again.
Think about it. He's the one that had to wash his clothes the night that Michael was abducted.
Exactly.
Ugh.
He says exactly. Well, then why would he have to? Do you know how dirty I would have to be to go wash my clothes?
Yeah, about an hour's drive away in your mother's house.
Uh-huh. And then change my clothes.
And then go back the next day to pick up your clean clothes that were in the washing machine or not. I can't with this because your instinctive reaction, if you were innocent, would be to say, well, that didn't have anything to do with the night the monkey disappeared. We were going there to wash clothes. But no, exactly was what he said.
Mm-hmm. And this whole thing that Stacy said about, oh, he's not supposed to be at his mom's house when she's not there. Oh, like she cares. He probably stole stuff in there to go pawn later. I guarantee Brandon has robbed his mother blind.
Yeah.
For many, many many years. The reason he put the code in to sneak through the garage is because of the cameras in front of the front door. And you can't tell me that Brandon's mom and Sarah's mom don't know what's up.
Kind of weird.
Well, it's. I mean, I there's other adjectives besides weird. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially if nothing happened. I think you'd find a hell of a lot more adjectives besides weird.
Yeah,
God
it's
damn,
kind of
that's
weird.
stupid.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Let me tell you something right now. If I'm going to pick on a couple people here. I'm going to say if I took Aggie and Whist to go pick up a car an hour from me, and in the meantime, a child is abducted, and they both decided they had to go inside and wash clothes, and all kinds of strange stuff is going on for the next almost 3 years, it wouldn't be kind of weird.
Yeah, that's
it wouldn't be kind of weird. It'd be kind of like people I don't want to be the hell around. Well, look at Big T making it rain. Girl, what am I gonna do with you? Kind of weird, my ass. What do you mean kind of weird? You see Michael Vaughan. You describe Michael Vaughan. You go to Kuna. You do laundry. You go around Robin Hood's barn to get back to fruit.
You stop and take a photo of your air cooling system or something on the way back because Sarah needed to pee, and then he needed to take a photo while he changed the tow rope, and all this bullshit.
And you track everything that's going on between Kuna and Fruitland, which gives the timeline, because he said, we were like back in like 45 minutes. No way can you drive an hour there, hook up a car, do laundry, and then go down, no, especially with a tow bar.
Right.
No.
Well, that's exactly. He made a whole big, massive deal about the fact that you can't tow fast, like you can't drive fast when you're towing. And Sarah didn't know how to tow, and so she was towing, but he was teaching her how to tow, and then she pulled off too quick, and the tow rope snapped, and this all happened in a short space of 45 minutes, which it took you an hour to get there. Yeah, that's bullshit. That's total bullshit.
And they're such dipshits. They think they have alibis for the entire day. Guilty people always do. Let me tell you something right now. Guilty people always have a ton of errands on the day of their guilt. They do. They can explain everything. Oh, we had to do this. It's never, I was inside watching TV and I heard something outside, but I didn't get up to go look.
Yeah. There's never a normal day. Unusual events on the day that someone goes missing is a huge red flag, and that's the same across every single case. Ever.
And I mean, looking at, all the messages that he sent me, I'll put them in here in a second. It actually shows that they had way more time. Tyler says he started driving around 7:00 at night. To go find Michael because he didn't see him outside. He wasn't in the backyard, wasn't in the front yard. Neighbors said, haven't seen him in a few minutes. And that's how parents react, in a few minutes. So he starts driving around. Okay, so between 7:00 and 11:00 is how long these fools had. They also stopped for milk. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now. I always assumed that going to the gas station to grab the milk and get gas was on the way back for some reason. But that's the reason I'm not the investigator. They grabbed the milk and the gas to go to Kuna.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
according to Brandon, they
what were you thinking when he, while you're strapping, the Mercedes Benz, which never got fixed in the first place and had been broke down. You said for a couple of days, but how long had he been living with you guys?
I mean, a while, a few months, off and on.
So it was working a couple of days before?
Oh, no. Like, I don't know, like, it'd been broke down for like a month, I think, or something like that. But, I mean, he'd been asking us, like I said, for quite some time to help him fix it.
Well, if he was in that much of a hurry, why'd he have to wash his clothes before it got towed? If he'd been bugging you.
No idea.
Well, you know these people better than me.
Yeah. I don't know. It was odd to me. That's for sure. I mean, I don't have any other words to say. I mean, it was definitely different.
Well, you're just talking to me as a friend. Again,
No, I know.
Because I don't know these people. And
friend or lover, according to Lisa Ruitz and Daisy. If he's in such a hurry to get the car, which was gifted to him in April, why on the day of Michael's disappearance did it have to be done that day? They had to get the hell out of Dodge because they knew if a child goes missing in the neighborhood, hell is going to rain down.
Yep.
They had to wait for the smoke to clear, to come back in. And it has to look legit. Like, oh, we're just towing a car back. We just wanted to get a car.
Exactly. And the thing is about that whole situation, if there had been there was no question that there was any foul play on their behalf, and they genuinely had gone there to pick up a car, do laundry and bring it back because Brandon was so eager to get that car fixed, they would have fixed that car the next day, or when they got back they would have started on it, or the next day. But that car then sat there for I don't know how long, months afterwards, outside their house in Fruitland, and they never touched it. So what was the urgency to go back and get it and tow it on that day? And then it sat there and never got fixed. That's bullshit. These things, they're not, I don't want to say they're not thinking properly, because obviously they're not thinking properly, because they're sadistic, horrendous, horrible criminals. But I mean, we had to go there on that day because Brandon was so anxious. He really wanted us to fix this car. So we drove all the way there. And by the way, on the way, we saw a young boy who looked like Michael, but then didn't look like Michael in the end. And then we drove all the way there so that Brandon can do his washing. We picked up the car, we towed it home, we did this, we did that, we did this. And then the car sat there for months outside the house and didn't get fixed. They think we were born yesterday. They literally think that we were born yesterday. And if we see this stuff, of course law enforcement sees it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you're exactly right. If we can see it, they damn sure know it. And you know how Stacy was taking pictures of serial numbers and everything on the side of the road. And he's like, oh, I needed those because I had to order another one. Now, why would you do all this work, Stacy, for the man that is sleeping with your wife, who you didn't want him sleeping with your wife?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you got for a lot of trouble.
Who owes you all this money?
Yeah.
How does that make any sense? And yes, something happened at the Kuna house. I can tell you right now. Because according to KTVB7, Brandon Shirtless's mother, Tina, told KTVB in a message that police came knocking at her door and their cadaver dog alluded to something on her property. She said the dog smelled poop outside near her crawl space from her leaking toilet. According to Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Cadaver dogs do not alert on human feces and are not trained to find it. So the cadaver dogs, and we know what cadaver means.
Yep, 100%.
Alerted to something at Tina's house.
Yep.
I want to know how deep in hell these four want to go.
Yeah.
How hot do they want to get?
Oh, I don't have any words for these pieces of shit, I'm telling you. Not even my vocabulary stretches to that kind of level, what I could say about them.
Why? We're waiting on one to turn against the other. I really thought it would be Adrian. I really thought it would. But I think they're all in so deep and their non-cooperation, yet the evidence points to all four of their asses.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the problem is, you know, to clear your name, you know, talking to authorities, just saying, I don't know, that's all I know. That's not going to clear you. You have to tell them exactly what you know.
And I told them exactly what I know, and that's what I've told everybody else on the live.
Mm-hmm.
I've told them everything.
And I don't mean to switch cases or cross cases, but the way that Stacy, when we would talk, if he would kind of get backed into a corner or, you know, something he didn't want to say, the way he would cough and yawn reminds me a lot of Hunter in the Summer Wells case. Cuz said, what is everyone's theory on Adrian being alone at the house while they went to Kuna? Adrian was not at the house in Fruitland. We do know that. I do believe that Adrian and his girlfriend went, I'm sorry, did I say Fruitland or Kuna? I was reading something.
You said Fruitland.
Okay. I do believe that Adrian and some other person went to the Kuna house because no way could they bring Michael through that neighborhood.
Yeah.
To watch things.
I mean, it was said as well that Adrian was in Kuna that night.
Sorry, go ahead.
It was said as well that Adrian was in Kuna that night. It wasn't said that he was at that specific house, but it was him and he went to see his girlfriend in Kuna, according to Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
So that puts him in exactly the same area as where they're heading to go pick up a vehicle that night. Puts them all in the same area, whether they're all in the same house or not. Adrian's in Kuna as well that night, which is why he didn't stay at Fruitland.
According to Stacy Wandra, Adrian didn't get back to the Fruitland house until a little after 8 o'clock the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I was asking so many questions about July 28th, 21.
Mm-hmm.
But the only plans of the day that day were Stacy sitting on his ass doing nothing, and Sarah and Brandon going back to Kuna to finish the laundry.
Yeah.
Could possibly try to help them with, and that's exactly what I've told you guys. Not anything's different at all.
Oh, I know. Because I don't know if you saw the interview that Brandon did with Jonathan. He said that they, you know, everybody was up and, you know, of course we heard about the fight with Adrian the night before.
Mm-hmm.
And you said there wasn't a fight. I mean, maybe you weren't around.
I don't recall fights being taking place at all.
And then he said that he went to his mom's house because he likes the water there more.
That's so stupid. That's such a lie. Maybe he does like it more. I don't know. I know he drank our water a million times.
Okay.
Yeah, that was another weird thing because Brandon had already been back to the house once during the day, back to the Kuna house to get water.
Brandon said they had to go to Kuna because he didn't like their water. He goes, that's stupid, which tells me Stacey never saw the interview with JLR. Tells me that, well, for one, he hasn't watched it. And two, it was just something that Brandon said about an excuse to go. And who in here would even say, oh, I'm going to go way out of my way to get my mama's water?
Yeah, I drink bottled water anyway, but I think you could pick that up at the local shop. Like, you don't necessarily have to drive for 45 minutes to get some water from a tap. No bullshit.
No, you can get water anywhere.
Or you could do like a Sarah Boone and drink it from the local council spigot or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, you can do whatever you want to do, but you don't need to go to your mom's house to fill up one water bottle. See, I believe it started with Brandon and Sarah throughout the day. Then they come back and they get Jabba the Hutt, and they're like, this is what we're going to do. We've got everything set up at Tina's house.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is set up. And I mean,
I tell you, I think I've said that to you before. I really feel like it was whoever the child was going to be, because I don't necessarily think it was planned that it was going to be Monkey. I think that was an opportunist moment that they took. But I think the setup was made, in my opinion, the setup was made in the Kuna house earlier that day.
Oh, yeah, I think something had to go down that day. Why that day is important, I will never know. I've looked at significances with, July 27th. I have no idea. For some reason, I do think they had been watching Michael, though.
Yeah, that's a possibility as well.
I mean, we're just going to agree to disagree. The only reason is because Brandon was the Domino's driver, and Brandy and Tyler would order Domino's at least once a week.
Yeah.
So he could scope the neighborhood in that area. He could see all the kids playing outside.
Yeah.
And I just think whether it was, Monkey in particular or just that general section, they knew it was like kind of a sleepy area of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And
I guess it's just so many possibilities, but I'm thinking because they lived sort of the other part of the subdivision, they wouldn't have known that Monkey happened to have been out of the house at that point, sort of running around speaking to, like, asking neighbours to play and all of that kind of stuff. And also when Stacey said that he saw a boy in the road by the side of the road, he said there wasn't any other children around. So it was kind of like, I don't think they could have in a million years known that Monkey was going to be in that place at that time on that day. Like, that's what makes me think it's opportunistic. They may have been scoping out Brandy's family, they may have been scoping out other families, but for Monkey to be in that exact place at the exact time they were heading out of the neighborhood, to me, that's what makes it feel like it was an opportunistic thing. They needed a child, and Monkey happened to be there at that place at that time.
Right.
I'm not disagreeing with you, because I agree it could have been scoped as well, but it just makes me feel like that's where Monkey wasn't ever meant to be there at that point in time. It wasn't planned for him to be there, so therefore that's what makes me think it was an opportunistic grab kind of thing. They were going looking for a child, and Monkey happened to be the child that was there.
Because they were also circling the mall that day. Sarah and Brandon had a lot of stuff going on. Well, after they dropped off Adrian.
Yeah.
at Applebee's. Then they went to the pawn shop. They got the iPad. They had a lot of stuff going on for a day when normally they just sit around and do nothing but watch Rent-A-Center TV and fight with each other and figure out who's going to have sex with Sarah next. That's what happened.
It may have even been like they were planning to leave the neighborhood as they were doing, and on the way they were going to stop at the splash pad and take a child from there. But before they got as far as the splash pad, there's Michael standing on the corner of that road. And instead of continuing down, they stopped the car, took Michael, and then drove on their way.
I'm looking outside my window right now. It's a cooler day here in July. Normally July is hot as Hades, okay? I'm looking outside right now. There's kids outside riding their bikes. There's a child walking down right now. Looks like he's got like a backpack on with a baseball bat sticking out. Now, guess how many of those children I want to go out there and grab? None. Yeah. I'm just glad I don't have to feed them. Put them through college.
I can't see any children outside my window, but that's because I live in a place where not many children live, so there's that. But
oh.
Yeah.
And then if I'm in the front yard and OJ's outside, they're like, "Can I pet your cat? Can I pet your cat?" And I'm like, no.
Try it and see.
No, we don't do that. Depends on his mood.
Mm-hmm. Well, who is OJ really?
Well, you have to ask yourself why he needed to wash clothes when you're there to tow a car, because you're going to get your clothes dirty again. And that's obviously going to slow down what, you have going on, especially when Sarah does all the laundry for everyone in the house. Just you put on your clean clothes, take your clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a lot of issues with Brandon. And I see Brandon and Sarah it just seems to me on the outside looking in that they are covering for each other.
Yeah, it's possible. Very possible.
Well, no, not possible. She was arrested for concealing the death of Michael Vaughan.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not talking possible. You're just not going to arrest somebody without evidence. That probable cause was huge. It's sealed now.
Well, that was also dropped.
Without prejudice. I'm sure you paid attention in school.
Oh, yeah.
That means they can pick the charge up at any time.
They can pick it up again at any time, correct? Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about my genius and the way I cornered him there. I said, I'm sure you paid attention in school when you were in the boys' home and you were raping other children, Stacy, and you got moved to another boys' home because you've been a deviant your entire life. Mm-hmm. They can pick it up anytime. It depends on what the prosecuting attorney wants to do. Mm-hmm. They already know Sarah's in jail.
Yeah. And
they know Stacy's in jail.
He completely deflected from the answer because he pretended like, oh yeah, but that's been dropped. Like, instead of just answering or like commenting on your point, which was that Stacey and Brandon were covering for each other, instead of commenting on that, he pretends like, oh yeah, but that was dropped.
He's like, oh, could be. That was dropped. No, they had evidence.
Yeah.
And the evidence they have, we don't know because they hadn't even started the dig in the backyard.
Right.
Before they even knew that remains had been in their backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And for the small-minded people that say, well, it could have been another body. Are you freaking kidding me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and for it to take a plea deal and say, yeah, I'll tell you where Michael's body is, without wanting to be too graphic about it, and then they go dig there and they find evidence that there was a body there, but then you say, oh no, I was just joking with them, I was just trying to say that because they were interrogating me so hard. But there was evidence there. So you admit to a crime, you admit where Michael's body is, they find that there was a body there but it's been moved, and now you're trying to say, but you was interrogating me too hard, so I just told you what you wanted to hear. Then how the hell did they find the evidence? It had to have been true.
Criminals are very smart, but they're stupid.
Uh-huh.
Talk about an oxymoron.
Yeah.
On one hand, I mean, they are slick. They are slick as a new whistle. They are. They know what to say, what not to say. Now, when it's there, you're not going to get executed card. Then they're like, okay, I'll tell you where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
But they know. And trust me, it's explained to them. If we get there and we start digging and all these things, and we know that the investigators went to a straight place in that yard with shovels, and they stopped right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's over where that girl was. See, they already know if you lie to them, you're going to get extra time tacked on, which is easy to do because no one's got to find you. No one's going to have to arrest you. You're already in there. You're already in there. And it's much easier to serve 15 and 7 on probation than what they were going to serve up if you didn't cooperate. There's one thing they don't know. What they don't know is where's Michael.
Yeah.
Kimberly Mann said he was also weird about the barbecue being moved. Yep, he was. That's what really got them in huge trouble.
Yeah.
Because when Sarah and Stacy, those two, got into it with Tanner about him moving that grill, Stacy said on this show, it's because the dog Oakley would dig things up. However, there are holes all over that yard from the puppy digging. But that particular spot, he couldn't dig. Mm-hmm. So then he went to jail. Sarah went to jail. Suddenly, that spot in the yard wasn't that big of a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, with prejudice means they can't do anything with it. They have nothing to charge her with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I know you said they offered you a plea deal. I mean, I'm just saying, friend to friend. I would tell them I would take whatever deal they're giving you.
But I can't.
Why?
Because they want the location of him. I can't. I don't have any of that. I don't even know where he is.
Okay, I want you to listen to his verbiage. Y'all, this is so important.
Yeah.
Listen to what he says. Because I don't even know where he is.
Mm-hmm.
If I asked Angel P right now where Michael Vaughan is, she'd go, well, how the hell would I know?
Exactly.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He was dumbfounded.
Yep. Well,
Listen,
I don't have that information. I don't have that part of the information.
Listen Listen to him again. And mind you, this is friend to friend, not lover to lover, as I've been accused of.
I would tell them I would take whatever deal they're giving you.
But I can't.
Why?
Because they want the location of him. I can't. I don't have.
Also, listen to the way he said, but I can't.
Yep.
Not because he doesn't want to.
Not because he's innocent.
Because
he doesn't say I can't because I'm innocent.
He no longer has the location.
Uh-huh. Which ergo means he had the location at some point and he no longer knows the location. Not that he never knew the location. Why would he possibly know that? Like, how would he know? He'd never met Michael before, remember? You know, all of that protestation that he was doing right back at the start. Now it's, well, I can't because I don't know that part of it.
Any of that. I don't even know where he is. They've already told me that it's called a conditional plea, and I told you this, they will not go through with the plea deal until I have his whereabouts, and I don't have that. That's the whole reason I turned it down.
He didn't turn it down.
No.
It was signed, sealed, delivered, and that's the reason they dug up that backyard.
Yeah.
And he knew that if he was lying to the police in a state like Idaho, where they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to do something, and obviously they turned up something, they're not looking for any other missing person right now.
Right.
It's all concentrated on Michael. So when people say, well, it could be anyone's body. Are you fucking kidding me? It's not mine. What do you mean it could be anyone's body? Well, then we would have a totally different investigation on our hands, would we not, my friends?
Exactly. They have evidence. It's not like they said, oh, we know there was a body there at some point, and we think maybe that was a different person's body who's been moved. They said, we have evidence that Monkey or Michael was buried there and has since been moved. That's what they said. Michael's body, not anyone else's body, not another random person's body they don't know. That is exactly what they said. And I'm really sorry. I hate saying those words out loud. I know Brandy's in chat, but that is what the police said. That is what they said. Michael's body. But these people, again, they just want to try to deflect this any way possible. It's the same group of people that are questioning all of this information about the suspects that were the same people who were questioning Brandy and Tyler's involvement in the first place. The same people. They just refuse to accept facts.
Well, I mean, and these people don't matter. These people are, they're a stitch in our side. They're a tick on our heel. Brandy said, never met Michael, yet had the missing flyer on your refrigerator I left on your door. Now, I will say there's a couple of people that said that Brandy never did that. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Brandy is telling the truth that she left the flyer on the door, or put a 2 in. Because we know for a fact she's telling the truth. We know for a fact. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous behavior.
See, it'd be good to get a hold of Brandon and maybe try to get him to, say what him and Sarah were up to, or however, because I don't know, I wasn't there.
Fun fact, when I said to my boyfriend Stacy to get a hold of Brandon, he did. Seems like my suggestion got him into some hot water, because one of the people he was not supposed to talk to was Brandon. Because
Yep.
both suspects in the same horrible, horrible crime.
Hmm. Not just once, though. There was several phone calls between them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Brandy Neal, based on evidence. J.D. Huff, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Based on evidence. Some people forget that shit, though. They forget the whole evidence thing. They think if they read it on Facebook, they're like, oh, look, I've got a screenshot. Come look at this.
Yeah. Yeah. Because screenshots do really well in front of a court.
I'll tell you what, they do. They do. Based on evidence. Got to have evidence.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have really any words. I'm so over the situation, you know. I'm over being lied about. I'm over having them lie about everything. That's stupid.
Is he still talking to Carson?
No, Carson hasn't talked to him in I don't know how long, years, I guess.
Nope. Not true. Here we go. Not true. Carson did talk to him. Carson was on the list. Listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually about something different. Carson knows a lot about these people. Carson Starkey is the next door neighbor who is also an RSO, or is an RSO. Oh, okay. Well, I wish we knew more about where they got the diamond ring. So he gave you. I mean, did you ever find out if that diamond ring was worth anything, or was just like some chiplets or something?
No, it's a diamond ring. I have it checked out. It's good. I wasn't going to do the job for some fake diamond ring.
Well, I don't blame you.
I was bringing it out, but it wasn't last night.
Well, I'm just kind of wondering if it didn't come from Sarah. He just said, I just talked to Brandon last night.
Yep. That's what he said.
I just talked to Brandon last night. I just talked to Brandon last night. They're talking about this diamond ring. Now, the diamond ring is from forever ago, which I'm going to assume is something they stole out of someone's home.
Uh-huh.
Since he's been gone. I talked to Carson the other day. I told you that.
Yeah, you wanted me to call him, but I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to say to him.
I don't know either. He just wants, I don't know. I just know he wanted to see the videos of Brandon throwing Carson under the bus.
Yeah, it looked that way to me. But again, I wasn't around when Michael was abducted.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe Carson was better friends with Brandon and Sarah and Adrian than you were aware of?
No, not at all. Carson and I were way better friends. Like, he even told me the other day when I talked to him, he goes, I knew there was something wrong with her the day I met her.
That never made sense to me. It's a minor detail, but it never really made sense to me.
My understanding is Carson is cooperating. That's my understanding.
Yeah.
I do think he has full knowledge of what goes on. over at that house. Actually, I'm going to try to call his ass right now. His mom may not have woke him up yet.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic.
Stupid asses. I just feel so bad for that little boy.
Mm-hmm.
His Darth Vader impressions are just sickening.
I mean, when the police questioned you, did they give you anything that they have, or just ask you questions?
Just ask me questions.
See, that's why I think your attorney's lying to you, because you might be a suspect, but you haven't been charged, so he wouldn't have any knowledge of what they know. There's nothing in the court filings. Nothing.
No.
There hasn't been a court date. So okay, so the reason I said that to Stacy non-wonderful is because I was saying to him, because he said that his attorney said he's not a suspect. His attorney said he's been cleared. Well, not according to JD Huff.
No.
Fruitland police, yes, but the prosecutor ever. Huff says Stacy is absolutely still a suspect.
Yep.
Now, this attorney that he keeps talking about is not representing him in the case of Michael Vaughan.
No. No, I think we know that, and probably the attorney knows that, but Stacey ain't got the brains he was born with, so he ain't got a first clue.
And by the way, Stacey always breathes like that.
Mm-hmm.
Does. He gets winded very easily. He really does.
So for him to tell you he's going to defend you when it comes to it, as you said, then, I mean, how can he be so confident? Is he just taking your word, or what?
What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. He's just on standby. Like he said, if they charge me, he will be there.
Oh, I thought you said that. I thought you said he said they have nothing. It's like it's laughable and all that stuff.
Well, that's what the DA was talking about, or the PA, prosecuting attorney. The PA was the one laughing. But
hold on. So the prosecuting attorney tells his attorney, who's not representing him, who's on standby just in case he gets charged, that all the evidence that the prosecuting attorney has, which probably looks like a Tokyo telephone book, sorry, I don't want to be called racist again, said everything is laughable.
Oh, Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Hilarious. Can't stop laughing. Ugh. Ugh.
Now, I mean, honestly, what do we even do with this situation, Kat? I mean, what do we do? We're going to end it right there, because the rest of it goes into him talking about how sexy he is and how he thinks everyone's in love with him.
Yeah, I quite like to keep my lunch down, actually. So thank you for stopping it there.
I'm telling you.
Oh.
I mean, who could even, I just cannot believe how disgusting these people are. And the people that instead of reading, I don't just reading what the articles say, they do things like this.
Wonder if Dolly's little stunt will change Brandy's mind about him. Come on now. Brandy's only looking for the next big thing to help her out for the moment. She don't care about long-term goals. Or she'd find her son by now. Or maybe that's the point. Wonder if
This is the heinousness we're talking about. Listen to this again.
Wonder if Dolly's little stunt will change Brandy's mind about him. Come on now. Brandy's only looking for the next big thing to help her out for the moment. She don't care about long-term goals. Or she'd find her son by now. Or maybe that's the point. Wonder if
Sick bitch.
Nobody believes that Brandy's point is not to find her son by now.
Hell no. I can't even tell you how arrogant and ignorant that fucking bitch is. Like literally, I haven't seen it with my own eyes, obviously, because I don't live there, but I've heard and known Brandy to be on her knees on the floor screaming, you know, and I don't want to make Brandy sound any type of way. She's a desperate mother who wants to find her child, who has grief and pain and anguish every fucking day of her life. And these people just have not got the first fucking clue. How the you know me, I'm not usually lost for words, Brooks, but this is just one of the tweezels that we were talking about earlier that just thinks that she can sit there behind her computer screen and act like some fucking stuck-up princess. I would not wish this on my worst enemy. Not on my worst enemy, let alone on someone that I consider to be my friend. It's just pure evil, and I pray to God that nothing ever remotely similar happens to any of her children. But if she's sitting up there on her high horse, karma is going to come for you, Eve. It's coming. I hope it hits you good. That's all I'm going to say.
And this channel and your channel, which, by the way, let's please get Kat going back on YouTube. We don't have enough good people out on YouTube. We know what people watch. They watch shit. They watch nothing but shit, and they get drawn into it, and they love that shit. So we need Kat back, Kat back, Kat back. You got to be one dumb donkey dick to get drawn into what people do. You really do. But we don't do it here. You know, you are safe here. Brandy has always known she's safe here.
100%. And, you know, I never, ever would have thought even about saying your name to Brandy if I didn't trust you. Absolutely 100%. Because there was enough people out there wanting to tear Brandy a new one and to tear her apart and break her down. And I knew that you would never in a million years do that to her family. And I'm so glad that I did bring it to you, Brooks, because I trust you. And I think, you know, really, like you said, there's so much shit on YouTube.
But you remember our conversation, and I was going through things, and I was like, no, hang on. I have to make up my own mind. Let me see what I can find.
Yep.
Then I talked to you at like 4:00 in the morning, which is like noon your time or whatever. And I said, everything I see is abduction. No child can vanish in that short amount of time.
Nope. I'm proud to call Brandy my friend. I feel like just so honoured that she would trust me and like Like I've said before, all Brandy's ever asked for is to keep Monkey's face and name out there and to pray for them. That's all Brandy's ever asked of me. And, you know, it feels like the very minimum that I could do. I wish I could do more, but I'd do anything for them if it helped to bring Monkey home. Honestly, I would.
She would too. She would too. That's why I got rid of a few people that were saying maybe Brandy should find her child.
Oh, I can't with that.
One day. And the usual suspects were, playing into the woke culture, going, "Oh, I just see what's going on. Someone's having a bad day." Not on my time clock.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not. Peas in a pod. Michael's was an actual abduction. Law enforcement named suspects.
Yep. And also law enforcement have been saying since really early on. I mean, the first time they ever said abduction, they said every single day the chances of this being an abduction gets bigger. Like it gets more likely every single day. They said that really early on. That's before they even named the suspects and everything else. It was before they said that they're not looking at Brandy and Tyler in connection with this and that Brandy and Tyler are being cooperative. They'd already said they knew it was an abduction at that point.
And now over the years, we know that the timeline is actually smaller.
Yep. Yeah, that's another thing that's radically changed since the beginning is the amount of time possible that Michael disappeared within has got smaller, which makes it even less understandable why people are going to throw shade at Brandy and Tyler for it.
Well, and in cases where we see the parents involved, the greasy uncle, the grandpa, or whoever, we see a longer timeline. Law enforcement has to give themselves a longer timeline. It goes from 2 hours to 6. And then sometimes to like 2 weeks. It goes on and on and on. But a true abduction gets narrowed down and narrowed down and narrowed down. And when it goes to trial, it's going to be a gnat's ass. It's going to be a time frame you couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, by that point, I've got a feeling that they'll have evidence of the exact time, the exact minute that Stacey and Sarah and Brandon were in that vehicle and saw a child, whether they admitted that to law enforcement or not. That's what they're going to be able to bring with evidence, the exact minute that happened in the trial.
Angel P, can you grab the link and come up and say a prayer for us? Because I think with everything that's going on right now, I think we really need a strong prayer. Where's she at?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, she said, okay, yikes.
Yep. Oh, she will. I really think that we need a strong prayer right now. There's a lot of stuff going on in the country. Here she is.
Angel.
Hey, sweetheart.
Good morning, you lovely people. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm just always sad about Michael. It always just hurts my heart.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. It's a very somber moment, experience. Alrighty, so you want me to close us out here in a word of prayer?
Please.
All right, then.
Let's all bow our heads. Let's all bow our heads and have a prayer.
Most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today having experienced many trials and tribulations. And yet we're still here because we want to be here for Michael and for all these beautiful children that need our support and love. We're grateful so much, Heavenly Father, for all the blessings that you've brought to us, for the friendships that we have made on this channel, for the loyalty that we have all felt for Brooks, for the wonderful, wonderful community that Brooks has created here for us. None of us are perfect, Lord. We try hard every day to go forward, to do what is right, to do things in your name, for your glory. And you know that we have been attacked by evil spiritual forces. And you know that there has been hurt, betrayal, and a very, very sadness that has came over us for many weeks now. Lord, you tell us to pray for our enemies, and so we will try. But we please ask that you help us move forward, that you help us love one another, that you be with us and stand with us when we are in the valley. And then you help those that go against us to see that we are truly here in your name, in your glory, to help these children and their families. We love you, Jesus. Please forgive me for my sins. These things I ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Thank you, Angel.
You're very welcome.
Why did you not ask him to forgive me for my sins?
Well, hell, you're just a sinner. I mean, we all are, girl.
That's right.
You're included.
Thank you for being here. Michael is extremely important. Please share his picture today. Put it on your Facebook, your Twitter, however you do it. Want to give a huge round of applause to Angel for that amazing prayer, to our amazing friend Kat. And I hope everyone has a great rest of their hump day. Anything you want to say in closing, Kat or Angel?
Just what I always say, which is bring Monkey home. Bring Monkey home. It's time. It's too long now.
It's way too long, and it's this family has been through too much.
Absolutely.
And we don't even want to know what Michael has been through or what Michael's going through. We know he's a brave, brave, brave boy that is going to come home.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm crying too.
Whoa. We're just human. Yeah, it still hurts my heart.
I love you, Kat.
I love you too, babe.